At the onset, the 2004 Supercross season seemed to be a predictable one. After Chad Reed's dominating performance, winning the THQ World Supercross GP Championship the season before, many thought there was no one faster except for one man, Ricky Carmichael. But the defending AMA Supercross champion was suffering through a tough year, and in the fall decided to have surgery on his ailing knee, eliminating him for the entire season. With that in mind, critics deferred to Reed as next in line for the AMA Supercross Championship. But none of them counted on the return of a certain Supercross veteran and the impact he would have on the sport. After a few average seasons, Kevin Windham declined to race Supercross in 2003. Frustrated and unhappy with his performance, the Louisiana native spent a year on the sidelines to refocus. And apparently, the time away was just what he needed. Also unforeseen was the role the AMA would play in the upcoming season. As the sanctioning body for Supercross, the AMA sets all rules and regulations and makes sure they are followed to the letter. For 2004, new personalities were in charge whose decisions would not only help shape the face of the sport, but also for the first time ever, have a profound effect on the point standings as well. Meanwhile, the THQ World Supercross GP landscape was changing. Riders that raced all events would be eligible for both the AMA Supercross Championship and the THQ World Supercross GP title. But riders that skipped the European rounds could only earn points for the AMA Series. Due to recent shoulder surgery, Chad Reed announced that he would not attend the events in Spain or Holland, opening the door for a brand new THQ World Supercross GP champion.
Seville, Spain, side of the opening round of THQ World Supercross GP. And as you just saw from that shot, it is an open-air stadium and a big one. And unfortunately, it's been raining for about 4 days, which means the elements are going to play a big part in the winner of this race tonight. This is what it all comes down to, the main event, THQ World Supercross GP. It's just been one of those nights for everyone. They have the riders racked up. They're going down through the starting line, and they are getting ready. In fact, the 30-second board is now up. The 30-second board is now up. Everyone has passed on the chance to do a sighting lap. There you see Grant Langston. He's all clean right now, but that's not going to last long if he doesn't get out of the starting gate. Tyler Evans right there on the starting gate next to Heath Voss. And there's Mike Brown. Look at all that extra protection.
The duct tape blocking off so he doesn't get roosted in the face, and a little bit of clutch adjustment there. You see the guys, when they roll their hand there on the left side of the bike, they're adjusting their clutches. And this should be an exciting start. There is a lot of mud. It's going to be hard to stop in the first corner, but it pays to hold the gas on. The longer you hold on, the better shot at getting there first. And here we go.
Cart is sideways any second now. The gate will drop, and there they go. And it looks like Tyler Evans right up the middle. And a big pile up in the first turn, and Mike Brown is out front. I think Tyler Evans went down. Half of the pack went down. Mike Brown is now your leader. And look, there you see, that looks like Steve Boniface is right there. John Sebastian Waugh is right there. And I'm not sure, but I think Shane Boyd may have also gone down.
And in second place right now, it looked like it was Joe Aloff. We're waiting to see those numbers. Lots of mud. He's on the 57 bike, and right now it's Mike Brown on the Boost Mobile Yamaha Troy bike, leading this 250 main event, the first main event of the year.
There you see Mike Brown sliding his way down through what used to be a whoop section. And check it out. Here comes Darrell Hurley on the inside. Actually, I take it back. Switches back, and there's a block pass. Hurley briefly took the lead, and just like that, he blew it, Cameron.
The adrenaline is flowing hard, and this guy, he wants a podium, but he says, hey, I can win, and he is trying to cross the lines. Now remember, going inside to out on a normal suit. Look at this, he's going for the pass and the whoops, and this is the triple face. They're going to roll it, and Brownie stalls his motorcycle, pulling the starter out to get it going. Get Darrell Hurley, your leader right now.
See that antifreeze running out. The bike is steaming. Oh, and now Hurley is stuck.
It looked like Brown stopped and looked over at him as he went by. Oh, there's Brown right there. That was another Yamaha.
Mike Brown is back out front just like that. Hurley made a mistake. He did the same thing Mike Brown did, Cameron. He stalled.
These bikes are carrying a good 40 extra pounds of mud at this point, if not more. This is a struggle to get through the ruts, deep when you get in these ruts too, the other thing you got to remember is these guys are used to using a lot of front brake, and they've got to be really careful in these conditions. You start getting into that front brake, you're gonna have problems and just swapping all over the place. Your body's getting tired, and whoa, looks like
no. Mike Brown just came to a dead stop. Now here's where he made the pass on Hurley. Hurley came to a stop on the side of the jump, and now look at this. Mike Brown, your leader, he is trying to get the kill switch taken apart. He's twisting his clutch out. The bike is running. I take it back. It's no cross-country trick. You pull the electronics. Brown.
We talked about how they adjust the clutch on the front of the bike there. And you see Brownie trying to do it, and now it looks like Boniface is going to go to the lead, or
it's Hurley.
Is that Hurley?
That's Hurley. He's back out front. Hurley is back out front. Mike Brown remains in second, but he is stopped on the track. There's your leader, Hurley, and just out of the corner, there you see Tyler Evans up to second, a half a lap to go. He's got to stay out of that rut.
And Short right behind him. You see Tyler having a hard time. He's decided to negotiate to the side. Here is all three of your leaders.
Oh, and Tyler
is down.
Tyler
Hurley
Evans
continuing.
Tyler Evans went down. You see the bike smoking. Hurley is still there. Now the question is, can Andrew Short catch the leader? Darrell Hurley is about to join Chad Reed in the record books as an Australian rider, or rather the first New Zealand rider to win. Chad Reed from Australia, and now it's New Zealand's Hurley with the win. He takes the checkered flag here in Seville, Spain, and throws his bike down. Paul Lindsay, the MotorRacing.com Suzuki team manager, gives him a hug, and it looks like it's going to be it looks like Grant Langston has moved up to take second. You see Grant Langston in the middle of your picture, and there's Tyler Evans rounding out the top three. Holy smokes, Cameron, that was a tough race even for us.
After the opening round of the THQ World Supercross GP, Darrell Hurley led the way with 25 points, followed by Grant Langston with 22, and Tyler Evans with 20.
Welcome to THQ World Supercross GP from the Geller Dome here in Arnhem, Holland. I'm your host, Davey Coombs. Down on the floor, we will have Jamie Little, and joining me in the booth is Cameron Steele.
Well, Davey, it should be an exciting race tonight. Tons of great athletes, international field, and of course our winner from last week, Darrell Hurley, is returning from New Zealand, and his first ever Supercross win.
Well, this is it, your Suzuki final starting lineup, a 20-lap main event. Heath Voss and Ernesto Fonseca were the top riders out of the qualifiers. Mike Brown, Andrew Short, Isaiah Johnson, Craig Anderson, Darrell Hurley, the winner of the opening round, THQ World Supercross GP. The card will go sideways and we will be off. THQ World Supercross GP, we are in Arnhem, Holland at the Geller Dome. The board goes sideways. 20 riders will try and squeeze into that tight first turn. You're looking over the shoulder of Heath Voss, and there they go off the start, and it looks like it's going to be from the outside. It's Marmont, number 81, the Australian on the KTM. There you see Langston mid-pack. There's Shane Boyd, another KTM, and just like that, Fonseca goes into the lead. Ernesto Fonseca is your leader, and I think Mike Brown is the number 2 rider. Yes, it's Mike Brown. So 2 of the pre-race favorites out front, the Honda factory rider Ernesto Fonseca, Yamaha Troy's Mike Brown, and there you see the rest of the pack coming through. There's Andrew Short, not that great of a jump, and I do not see Heath Voss right away. And gets a little far over the front end there, and you can see Brown and Huffman close up the gap just a little bit. None of these riders, well, at least the first and second place guys, have ever won a 250 main event. Damon Huffman knows his way to the winner's circle, but for Fonseca or Brown, it would be the first time. They have 18 laps to go as they come across the electronic scoring. Again, this is a 20-lap main event. Huffman trying the line on the outside. They power through, and the big Honda gets a better jump, and Brown comes by on the inside. No contact, but Huffman probably had a pretty good idea that Mike Brown's not the guy you want to scrap with on a tight corner. See him going through the whoops there. Huffman is now second. Brown is third. This is a 20-lap main event.
Huffman coming on, but it's going to be far too little, far too late. Ernie slowing down, but coming through. His first ever win, Ernesto Fonseca here in Arnhem.
There you see Huffman come across the finish line in second, Honda goes 1-2 here in Arnhem, Holland in THQ World Supercross GP. The checkered flag is out, and rounding out our podium, Andrew Short on the MotorWorldRacing.com Suzuki.
No American-born rider has ever won an overseas THQ World Supercross GP event, and that streak remained intact as the competitors returned to the States for the traditional opening round in Anaheim, California.
The 250 main event, we're fortunate enough to have the three-time defending champion of Supercross, Ricky Carmichael, join us as he recuperates from a knee injury. Ricky, good to have you with us. We're going to jump right to business. Suzuki starting grid. There he is, 22, Chad Reed. Ricky knows him well. Don't count out Kevin Windham, Ernesto Fonseca, and Robbie Reynard. We are racing. This is 250 main from Anaheim. And look at that, picking up the Butterfinger hole shot. It's the Fonz, Ricky's teammate, Ernesto Fonseca, number 24, right behind him, number 22, Chad Reed, and the rest of the crew, including Way and Les, going 3 and 4. Look at this.
Oh, Ernesto Fonseca unloading in the whoop section. So Ricky, the whole shot, all for naught. That's kind of hurt.
The whole shot and then had a mishap. Chad Reed's already got like a 2-second lead. That could be dangerous. These guys need to get up there and make a charge before they can give him some breathing room, or it's going to be tough for him.
He's followed by Byrne, Hamblin, and Lusk. And those guys are going to have to get on their pony. None of them really factors in their heat race or in the lap times. Actually, Ezra Lusk had some good lap times in practice, but right now, Chad Reed is checking out.
Chad Reed is your leader. He is followed right now by Sean Hamlin, who slid in there. Here comes Ezra Lusk, number 11, sitting in third, and he almost goes over the falls.
He kind of got the whole track dialed in to where he was really comfortable as we see Ezra Lusk actually slipping out. You got to keep your traction, and Tim Ferry getting by cleanly. So now Ferry looking to get up on Sean Hamlin.
No love lost. Welcome to the team, Ezra. Tim Ferry wasn't being so look at that.
Yogi.
Wow, and amazingly, his bike kind of lands right in his hands. His hands are right back on, and he's trying to get it started. Let's see if there's any damage to the bike. It looks like his handlebars or his clamp might be pushed down a little bit, but he's going to get going again. And a tough break for Ezra Lusk.
Looks like he's going good there. Oh, he dropped his front end there, and then it's all over. Man, good thing he got up.
Chad Reed is on the white flag lap, and I think that Yamaha is going to hold up for at least a half a lap as Chad Reed continues to work his way through. Just a few more turns, and he will pick up the first victory here at Anaheim, California in the 250 main.
You know, he's the favorite, and you know, I have a lot of respect for the guy, racing with him last year, and here he comes to take his victory of the year, right? First victory of the year.
The winner in the 250 main, Chad Reed, number 22 on board the Yamaha. No one's breathing a bigger sigh of relief than his mechanic and Chad Reed, and I don't know if he's got enough for a victory lap or not, but Chad Reed picks up the victory here in Anaheim.
After Anaheim, Chad Reed led the AMA Supercross Series with 25 points, followed by David Villeman with 22 and Tim Ferry with 20. Tyler Evans was atop the THQ World Supercross GP leaderboard with 59 points, followed by Grant Langston with 51 and Damon Huffman with 49.
So what, people, you want to hang out with the best rider in the world? Well, you're hanging out with him now. Chad Reed, actually, I'm hanging out with him. You guys can just be jealous. I mean, Reedy stepping up. I mean, coming into the Supercross season, everybody's saying, oh, the guy's kind of injured. He's got some pins in his shoulders. What I'm saying is, I want to see the x-rays because you don't look like you're hurt, all right, buddy?
Seems like that was the most asked question this week was, you know, whether I had surgery or not. I didn't have surgery. And, you know, it was definitely a different weekend for me last weekend. I came into the week with a shoulder surgery and really not knowing where I was. And, you know, I was surprised as much as everyone else. So, you know, a surprise is good for someone. So I was happy.
So, Chad, kind of give us your basic theory on the season and how the guys came in prepped for it.
I think coming into the season, everyone saw Ricky get injured. They saw me get injured, and I think everyone kind of changed their motivation. You know, they really got hungry and thought that they were able to win, and, you know, rode a lot, trained a lot, and I think that just the difference of the first race is I was a little fresher than what they were. I think that, you know, I was a little sharper, and I think that that's kind of how that was the plan anyway, you know. I think that getting injured kind of sucked, but it was, you know, maybe in a benefit of me because it's a long series, and I know last year battling with Ricky every race was tough, and So I want to, you know, be fresh and be 100% every weekend. Don't get sick, don't get any injuries, and try and win that title.
Talk about the advantage in the whoops. I mean, why are you so much better in the whoops? Is it the bike setup? Is it the body positioning? Are you going to tell us, or are you just going to lie to us?
No, I think it's a combination of all that put together. I studied a lot of people and just tried to work on the style. And you know, I've had a shoulder injury for a while now, and part of the reason I got my style was from my shoulder, and it seems to work. You know, I position my bike, you know, pretty central on the bike, where a lot of other people, you know, get, you know, a long way back on the loop. So, you know, it's definitely different. You know, it seems to be working for me, and the Yamaha guys definitely got the bike working awesome in the loops as well. So that makes my job a lot easier as well. It gives me confidence that knowing that, you know, I'm not going to be showing all 3 number plates going through there. You know, every year I think everyone comes in with new motivation, and money motivates some people, so it's good to have it laying around so you can hand it out and keep them motivated.
Sweet, I'll be right around back getting my check in a couple minutes, all right? Because we're done with this interview. You guys got to go. He's getting the checkbook out. You heard him. He's handing out cash. I'm ready.
Welcome to Phoenix, Arizona and Bank One Ballpark for the THQ World Supercross GP and the THQ AMA Supercross Series. Right now, let's take a look at our Suzuki main event starting grid and the talent line. The cup runneth over. Kevin Windham, Ernesto Fonseca, Ezra Lusk, Timmy Ferry. Look at Chad Reed. Not the best pick, but I have a feeling the Australian's going to be good when the time comes for him to run. Tyler Evans is in this big show, Robbie Reynard, and Mike LaRocco as well. Too many to name, 20 riders going 20 laps. Let's quickly check in with Jamie.
Earlier, guys, I talked with Jeff Spencer, the trainer for Chad Reed, and he says, you know, each week they debrief after the race. They talk about what happened, the circumstances at hand. Some weeks they work on more mental things. Other weeks they work on more physical things. It's all about how Chad Reed is feeling and how he's doing. And tonight, I'm sure they worked out those bugs that happened earlier, and they're going to do something here in the main.
All right, thank you very much, Jamie. The 30 board is up. Everyone getting set. Cameron, at this point, is there any preparation, or is it just go time?
Well, there's definitely preparation. Everybody has their own ideas on how to get the whole shot or the best way. Some guys look straight down at the gate. Some guys look to the side. Different guys have different combinations of how they start with both legs down, one leg up on the shifter, and the cart is sideways. Let's watch them start. Heck with what we think.
30 board is sideways. This is the 250 main from Phoenix, Arizona. Oh, and the Butterfinger hole shot's going home with number 14, Kevin Windham on board the Honda. Here comes the Cobra, David Villeman on the inside. It is Windham and Villeman, and they get together, and it's going to be Windham who gets pushed out.
David Villeman with the great move. You see him grab the blade. So, oh, look at this!
Oh, my!
Oh, wow! Kevin Windham! What is up? Throwing down! David Villeman gives him just a little bit in one of the corners, and Windham cuts it tight and gives him a big one-up.
Oh,
call it payback, call it what you will, but wow, that was a pretty serious move right there.
I have a feeling the folks at Yamaha are going to look at that piece of tape a lot, and I know his coach David Bailey is going to be working on him a lot to make sure that does not happen again. But your leader right now, as we look at the Tissot running order, it's Kevin Windham out in front, Mike LaRocco in second, and Nick Way in third. Here comes Chad Reed.
Way having problems in the whoops, but regardless of it, if he went through there smooth, Reed was coming, and well, Reedy scrubbing some speed, throwing the whip, grabbing a tear off, and his next sight set on Mike LaRocco. Now, the Rock is not an easy guy to get by. He can get wide and hold his elbows up. Looks like Reedy's going to come right up here and go to the outside. He's taking a look at the lines, outside in, over the triple. Watch Chad. He pushes down when he goes off the face and scrubs speed. He gets back on the ground sooner.
And LaRocco cuts off his line, and look what Chad does. He squares it out, goes to the inside, and Chad Reed picks up yet another spot. But Kevin Windham is your leader as he leads them through, coming up on the halfway point of the 250 main event. Well, Ezra Lusk, Cameron, trying to get in there and make a run at the podium. Right now, Lusk sitting in 5th place. Just to recap a few things, Grant Langston has moved up to 12th. Ernesto Fonseca had a few problems. He just dropped way back.
And Ezra getting on the inside underneath. Nick Way showing him some tire and going on by. So Ezra moving it up into 4th place. The wrist keeping him out of riding all week long. Comes out to practice, looks good. And they continue on, and Ezra getting away from Nick Way. The crowd is cheering right now for K-Dub, the 14 Honda. Kevin Windham circling in the lead, and he has been looking great.
Number 14, it's been a long time coming. Your winner in the 250 main event, Kevin Windham. And give credit to Chad Reed. He got that lead down to about 3 seconds. You don't know what would happen with a few more, but it'll be interesting to see what happens when David Villeman comes through. I don't think he's going to be as enthusiastic about Wyndham's victory as he is. But congratulations to Kevin Windham picking up a Supercross victory after a long layoff. He got a nice tune-up during the Outdoor Nationals. Cameron got some victories over Ricky Carmichael. So Kevin Windham picks up his 7th career 250 Supercross win. Well done, Kevin.
Down here in the pits with Kevin Windham. And Kevin, you know, a lot of people have a lot of questions about what's been happening. And I'm going to lay the question on you right now. What is more difficult for you personally, changing an oil filter or changing a diaper?
Boy, well, I've been getting a lot more practice at diapers than the filters, so I would have to say I'm kind of getting to be where it's, you know, second nature to change a diaper, so I'd have to say the bike's harder to deal with than the baby. It's been going pretty good though, you know, being a father's been nice, and give you a whole new outlook on life pretty quick. I've only been a dad for a year now, and it's been a great year.
So is it any different this time around? I mean, think about it. This is the second half of your career. Took that year off. How's it different?
So much fun to be here now, and that's one of the biggest changes in my life. And I'm able in this, you know, in my return to racing to realize that, you know, if I don't win, it's not the end of the world. And before, you know, even earlier in my career, which I think put all the pressure on me to where I ultimately wound up having to retire and really feel burnt out, is because winning was my life, you know. And I found out that I'm so much more of a person than just a motocross racer. I mean, it's a huge portion of my life, but I can be somebody else, and you know, winning is not everything. You know, when I came off from Anaheim 1, I got 9th place, and then I went to Phoenix and I won. You know, and that was a good recovery and a good bounce back. But at the end of the day, you know, my daughter looked at me the same, regardless if I finished, you know, 9th or 1st. She don't know any difference, and she's definitely just into seeing Dad. You know, so that gives me a lot to look forward to and a lot to keep my head up about, and to keep it positive and keep charging away. You know, and I think that's kind of the basis of my return and why it can remain fun and why I'm doing so good right now.
Did the 10-point penalty change your thinking, change your strategy?
I don't want to start any controversy because I've never taken one out before in my entire life until the incident with Villeman, you know, and that was unfortunate. I really didn't want to see him go down. I just thought he would react different to what I did. But on the next token, I don't think that they need to scare us to a point where we can't make an aggressive block pass, because you know, I definitely was expecting it in certain turns and didn't get it, and could have gave it in certain turns and didn't give it. And I don't necessarily know if that's good for the sport. You know, blatant takeout moves, I definitely don't agree with. I don't think that we need to injure other riders or even put anybody in a position where injury can happen. But you know, rubbing is racing, and it has been since you know, the 70s. You know, hopefully we'll get all this stuff behind us and move on to some more exciting news, and maybe get some more controversy that won't take 10 points away that we can talk about. Get something new going for the rest of the season, and you know, everything's going good. Hopefully I can get up there and challenge him, and we'll have something to talk about.
Well, it's good to have you back in the series, Kevin, for sure.
Thank you.
Welcome to Anaheim, California. This is the THQ World Supercross GP and the THQ AMA Supercross Series, as we greet you from Edison International Field in the heart of Orange County. It's a picture-perfect night for racing tonight in the 250 class. All eyes will be on number 14, Kevin Windham, and number 12, David Villeman. You are looking at Tyler Evans. He will be running the helmet cam tonight as we take a look at the Suzuki main event starting grid for this Anaheim main event, and what a good one it's going to be. Chad Reed, Kevin Windham, Robbie Reynard, Tyler Evans, take your pick. David Villeman, Ernesto Fonseca, Ezra Lusk out there, Mike LaRocco, and the rest of the crew.
Windham and Reed should be an incredible battle, and I think everybody's looking forward to seeing what will happen with our Villeman and Windham getting near each other.
And it looks like the Butterfinger hole shot's going to go to either 27 or 24.
So Nick Way on the 27 bike looking like he got that hole shot, and Kevin Windham right to the front past Ernesto Fonseca, and Windham going inside, stepping on, and Ernesto going for the big air. We'll see how it pays out in the end. And Villeman in the fray as well, number 12 in the third place.
So it's Windham out in front, Ernesto Fonseca, number 24 in second, but here comes David Villeman. And Villeman's going to jump himself right into second. So here we go, folks. Settle in for the long haul. Windham and Villeman together again.
Do not move away from the TV screen. These two guys came together last week. It resulted in a 10-point penalty, which is on appeal for Kevin Windham. So I'm expecting clean racing here, but multiple lines. Windham blowing the berm apart. The whoops will be key here, and Villeman on the run.
Squaring it off, comes underneath, can't get the drive. It's still Kevin Windham out in front. Here comes David Villeman. He'll try to get a fast run on the outside. Step on, step off, and look at that. Villeman launching himself.
And he slows up to try to come back to the inside there. Let's watch him in this whoop section. It's technical. After the whoops is a triple single. They need to try to get it every lap. Well, Villeman with the 7th place last week. But whoa, what do you got there in your screen, people? That is the 22 Bikes Factory Yamaha Chad Reed coming into play. And Villeman wheel up, back wheel that is, in the whoops. Not something you want to do.
Back to racing action. Your leader still, number 14. It is Kevin Windham, but on his left-hand side, the two Yamaha riders. Villeman looking over, saying, where did you come from? Chad Reed moves into 2nd place. Villeman shuffled back to 3rd.
Well, Villeman's been on a tear, but the fastest lap so far, the main event of 52.8 by Chad Reed. The riders around him in 53s, and Reed getting just a little bit bobbly there in the whoops, but he's taking a shot here. Now, we got to watch Reed. He'll be, see him scrubbing speed as he goes off there. He will attack at all times, as is Kevin Windham, but it seems like Chad always finds that exact traction right when he needs it.
Chad Reed, a relatively patient rider, looking for the inside line right now, just playing a little cat and mouse with Kevin Windham. He goes to the inside, Windham goes to the outside. Never one to follow. Look at that, he jumps up. Chad Reed jumps right up there. Amazing move. Chad Reed, David Villeman trying to find a way around your leader, Kevin Windham. Windham out in front. Look at this. Chad Reed coming to the inside. Will he get the drive on him? I'll tell you what, Kevin Windham has done a masterful job, Cameron. Not only is he getting pressure from Villeman and Reed, but he's holding his lead. Your running order looks like this. It's Windham, Reed, Villeman, and Fonseca out in front. Everyone waiting and hoping, if you're a Team Yamaha fan, that Kevin Windham makes a mistake. So far, he is not.
Everybody at home and in the stands here collectively holding their breath. Reed looking for the lines, but at the same time, Villeman coming up on these two riders. 2 bikes hardly fit in one spot. 3 bikes definitely won't fit.
This is racing at its absolute best. Your leader, Kevin Windham, doing a great job. Chad Reed right behind him, and David Villeman not giving up.
Chad misses the double after the sand section, and he misses the triple there. Villeman gets it and goes by. We've been talking about that triple all night long. Very technical after the whoop section.
Well, best case scenario for Kevin Windham. He gets Chad Reed off his back, but now he gets David Villeman. Let's see if those two will go at it.
And you see Villeman coming to that corner. He was sitting on the bike, the seat bounced up and lost some momentum. Gave Kevin Windham a little bit of breathing room. Officially a second on our clock here.
And I don't think there's any riding orders from Team Yamaha about one of these two guys letting the other guy have the lead. I don't think David Villeman, he's being coached by David Bailey. He's not giving up the lead to anyone. And Chad Reed certainly looking for his spot.
You can see those guys kind of picking different lines in that corner. We'll see if they continue to do that. Villeman jumping way farther into the whoops. Tough break for him, but now Reed back to 2nd place, getting past Villeman.
So during that replay, Chad Reed does find a way to get around his teammate, David Villeman. He took that inside line, and we walked the track. That is the fastest line, it seems like, because the whoops are breaking down just a little bit. Now he goes to work once again on Kevin Windham. Tell you what, Cameron, after the first time we came to Anaheim, everyone thought, and look at this, Chad Reed, here he comes.
Windham misses that triple coming out of the whoops.
And Chad's got the drive on the outside. It's Chad Reed, Kevin Windham on the inside. He's got the line. Reed squares it off, comes back in, and Chad Reed makes the pass, and here comes Windham again. Oh, my.
The 4-stroke grunting the power out on the inside over the finish line jump. You
Wow.
gotta love it. Look at him dance on the whoops. No mistakes here. Looking for lines around each other, and Reed
Will he make it stick?
Chad Reed gets ahead of Kevin Windham. There's a rider down right there. No problem for either man. Unbelievable racing, folks. It doesn't get much better than this. He has certainly done his part tonight here in the 250 main. Your winner in Anaheim, Chad Reed.
After the second Anaheim event, Chad Reed was in front for the AMA Supercross title with 72 points, followed by David Villeman and Mike LaRocco tied with 56 points each. Tyler Evans stood atop the THQ World Supercross GP leaderboard with 96 points, followed by Damon Huffman with 93 and Grant Langston in third with 91.
And we welcome you to San Diego, California's Qualcomm Stadium for the THQ World Supercross GP and the THQ AMA Supercross Series. We take a look at our Suzuki starting grid. Take your pick, folks. Kevin Windham, David Villeman, Michael Byrne, and the rest of the crew. Chad Reed not getting the best start, but we have got the 30 board up, and we have got a great race on the line for you tonight. Let's check in with Robbie real quick.
Hey guys, normally when you qualify for the main and the semifinal like Chad Reed did, you get a bad starting pick. But look who he's next to, the heat race winner, Kevin Windham. So all things are not bad. The Yamaha captain pretty much got the pick he wanted.
All right, thank you, Robbie. And for a guy who pretty much had to put a new engine in his bike, not a bad way to end up your evening. This is the 250 main from San Diego, California.
And it looks like it's Chad Reed right up the middle. It was a perfect starting position. David Villeman second, and then here comes Windham down on the inside.
Buckle up, folks. It's going to be a great ride. Chad Reed picks up the Butterfinger hole shot. Right behind him is number 14, Kevin Windham, and this should be a great battle. The law firm of Reed, Windham, and Villeman is on board 1, 2, and 3.
Here comes Windham on the inside, a nice drive, and he gets his bike over there, and he wasn't able to block enough. But wow, Windham already asserting himself, and Damon Huffman just moved into third. And that's the funny thing, those are the three guys that Robbie was standing behind, Reed, Windham, and Huffman. Well done, Robbie.
Robbie Floyd, take him to Vegas with a little bit of cash and see what he can do for you. This is a situation we normally see Chad Reed, and he plays the stalker sitting in second place, waiting for a mistake. And it's interesting to see how he will react with someone like Kevin Windham's ability, putting the pressure on Chad Reed.
Well, Kevin Windham told Cameron Steele Jamie Little after the race last week that he liked being in second. He didn't like leading that race. Led the first 9 laps, got a little uncomfortable. This is exactly where he wants to be. Let's see what Reed does with the pressure.
And look at this. Here comes Windham one more time. There is less than a bike length between him, and Windham goes to the inside.
That time he blocked him well. Kevin Windham is just gunning it through these whoops. I cannot believe that. And now he's got the lead. Now he goes to the lead a little bit later than last time. Last time he was out front early. Now it's Reed's turn to be the stalker. You know what? They're starting to gap the whole field.
Well, I'll tell you who is enjoying it. The 61,000 plus fans here at Qualcomm Stadium. Kevin Windham shows them a little space. Chad Reed unable to get in there. Does Reed go to the inside? No. It's Windham who will lead them through the whoop section. And this time it's Chad Reed showing some speed.
Those guys flying in formation like that, that is just such a neat look. Such a cool thing to be able to ride with that much confidence next to someone. I think right now they're just going to play with each other for a little while. Let the few laps get into the books, and then they're really going to go at it.
Chad Reed and Kevin Windham putting on one of the best shows we have seen all year here in the 250 main. And Chad Reed goes to the inside. Can he get the drive? No. Kevin Windham back on the gas and gets it right back.
That's what happens when you mess with that big 450. He's able to get inside the corner quicker, but he's not able to get out as quick. See Windham trying to stay on the inside. And right here, Reed gets really aggressive. And this surprises me because I thought Windham would be faster through the turns all night long. But every lap, he gets a little closer. Look at this. He's going to try the inside this time. He's got him. He got him. And then Windham slingshots back. Now let's see if he can make the same move. Almost.
Oh, my. Kevin Windham in second. Does he have the drive
again
on the inside, and he gets it right back. Chad Reed comes back. Who's going to triple out of this? Both of them.
And Windham's got the inside, but look at that. He gave him way, That was a good move there. He didn't want another 10-point penalty, and he could have knocked him all the way into the ocean right there if he'd have wanted to.
So Kevin Windham playing it smart this time, cannot afford a dock penalty on aggressive riding. Now the mission becomes, does Chad Reed say, you know what, I was playing with you the whole time, I'm laying out? I don't think so, because Kevin Windham is not letting him get away. Your leader now is Chad Reed. Kevin Windham dealing with some lap traffic right there, so he has actually fallen back just a little bit. And here's where Chad Reed is absolutely deadly. Do not let him get away, and Kevin Windham is going to do everything he can on board that big four-stroke to reel him back in and hopefully look for position to make a pass. We are coming down to the final few laps in this, the 250 main, and it has been a good one.
Chad Reed just rode a strategically perfect race tonight. You see him checking his bike out. He went through a lot with the shoulder, with the transmission, but there he is. He's going to win again.
Your winner in the 250 main event, Chad Reed, picks up a victory. But a hard-fought second goes to Kevin Windham, and I think both those guys should be happy with the performance tonight. I know Windham won't be happy with second, but what a show. If you happen to tape this show or watch it, you just saw textbook racing. Look and learn.
Well, there's a lot of blue in the picture. That's because, well, I'm wearing my ESPN garb, and we got the blue crew. They're not blue because they're upset or unhappy. They're blue because they're Yamaha riders. It's the Red Dog, Tim Ferry, Yogi, Ezra Lusky in the house riding together. And well, the first question I have is, I mean, Chad Reed dislocates his shoulder in the off-season, and they're saying he was playing pool. I wanted to know which one of you guys actually took him out at the test track to set that up. Red Dog?
It was Ezra, wasn't it?
It was Ezra?
I'm sure the finger probably could have been pointed at me, but I wasn't even in the same state, so. Yeah, me neither. Wasn't us.
You guys are supposed to play nice with your teammates, and well, you guys are all out at the test track together. Ezra, I want to ask you, what's it like? I mean, last year, riding with Kawasaki, you were the solo 250 guy. You didn't get to test and ride with a lot of guys. How was it riding with Timmy, a guy that you're, friendly with, and being out there with Chad and even DV12?
It's actually fun. You really want to have somebody else on the team that's either your speed or better, or somebody to shoot for, just somebody even close to be able to race with.
Or shoot at.
Or shoot at. Either one of the three. And it was fun. It's probably the best 2 weeks I've had testing and riding, period, since I've rode Honda and rode with Kevin Windham and Tortelli. It's been a while.
It's been a while since you've been on the track with a few guys. Now, Red Dog, I want to ask you, you've been riding with these guys for a couple years. Now you got Ezra on the team as well. Of course, Heath Voss. What do you guys expect from the blue team this year? I mean, obviously championships, I know we're going to hear that, but are you guys all focused, ready to go? Are you guys ready to rock? You guys been doing your push-ups, little jumping jacks? I mean, what's the routine been?
I think really, all of us getting the ride together, we're all kind of going a little faster. That's what helped mainly me and Chad last year go fast. This year we got Ezra, who's riding really good on the new bike. I don't know, I think we're definitely going to win a lot of races, and we got definitely a strong team. We got 3 or 4 guys who can win a race at any time.
All right, well, that's all we're going to take from these guys because they let everybody down the track walk. If I ask them one more question, they're going to give me the right cross. So that's it.
Welcome to Anaheim, California's Edison International Field for our third and final appearance here. This is the THQ World Supercross GP and the THQ AMA Supercross Series. This is the 250 main event from Anaheim, California, as we take a look at the Suzuki starting grid. Reed, Les, Byrne, Villeman, Voss, Wade, Langston, they're all there. I'll tell you what, Cameron, make your choices, especially on the Anaheim option, and make them wisely.
Well, the guys have been going, the big dog, Chad Reed, on the inside right now on the left side. That means he has inside when they get to the first corner of the board sideways.
This is it, the 250 main event from Anaheim, California, our third and final stop here. Reed gets a terrific start on the left-hand side. The other side, there's a major pileup, but Kevin Windham's in the front. So it'll be Reed and Windham together again. And it looks like this time Windham will go through, but Reed comes right back, forcing him to only single through there, unable to double.
And then Reed does get that triple midway through, and wow, Windham jumping right up towards his back and opting for different lines here. We'll see if one or the other pay off. Looks like Reed with the smooth line into the triple. Let's watch them carry their speed through the whoops. Just about even there, Todd.
Chad Reed, your leader. Kevin Windham is second place. In third place is Damon Huffman. He had to go through an LCQ to get there, but here he is right now in a podium position with a long way to go. 20 riders going 20 laps. The green flag is out, and the battle is on. Both men able to triple through here. Chad Reed airing it out. Kevin Windham right behind him. This is deja vu all over again from San Diego. Can they keep it up for 14, 15, maybe 20 laps? I know the fans here in Anaheim, California, sold out evening at Edison. Would love to see that. Chad Reed, though, silky smooth, and Kevin Windham.
Look at the run.
He's got the speed on the inside. And that dirt came into play once again, Cameron. Kevin Windham knew that it was just too slippery. He had to back it off.
Anything can happen. 65 feet side by side and through the whoops. Windham's on the inside. But Chad, ever so skilled in the whoops, moves over to the inside of that corner. Most people can't even ride through those whoops. Chad can make directional changes in them.
The only thing I can think of is Chad Reed, who usually can shake this stuff off, no problem, is starting to think, this Windham guy is for real. I cannot get rid of him. And Windham is making Chad Reed's life here in Anaheim very tough. Chad Reed looking to do something that hasn't been done in a long time, and that is sweep Anaheim. Kevin Windham last time played the chess move, stayed right behind Reed. This time they split sections, and no one has ever won all three Anaheims. And this time Kevin Windham does it. He comes to the inside and moves ahead of Chad Reed. Chad tries to triple back into the lead, but he's not going to have the line right now, Cameron.
Well, I thought for a second there when I saw Chad go outside in that last corner, he may try to triple that obstacle there. But right now, they are tied. Let's see what happens.
Welcome back to Anaheim, California. The battle continues. Reed and Windham going mano a mano. Moments ago, Kevin Windham did make a pass momentarily, unable to make it stick, and here he comes again.
An uncharacteristic bobble for Reed at the end of the whoops. He had to check himself, comes right back in the next corner. Lots of tight corners on this course. Everybody's been talking about how it's one line, but with all the tight corners, there's going to be options. People will go inside and out. And Chad uses that to get back ahead after that small bobble, and they split it up on the option.
I think Chad likes that left-hand side a lot better. Last time he went to the right-hand side, I think that's part of this chess match, showing Kevin Windham something else. He knows Windham has got the ability. And Chad Reed makes a mistake again. He was unable to triple out into the whoop section. Windham was. Now Chad Reed is on the attack, and this is the biggest lead that Kevin Windham's had all night.
And Reed with a couple of little mistakes. Windham to the front. This is not like Chad, but we talked about how the mechanic, Jonathan, Kevin Windham's mechanic, had said it's a mental game. Get behind him. And maybe that worked on Chad just a little bit. Now the tables are turned. If Chad can pull up on him, now Kevin's got to think about what's happening behind him. And Chad getting right up behind him in those two turns.
A great opportunity to find out, and Kevin Windham has a bobble. Did he miss a gear or something right there?
Certainly, it looked like he missed a gear, went into neutral. Shifted in between first and second is neutral, and when you get a positive shift, you never really hit that neutral gear, but once in a while, your boot might hit it, or you might not engage your shift just enough, and off you go to neutral, and speculation.
It's a win-win situation for everyone here. A great race, one of the best we've seen all year. Kevin Windham now trying to regain the lead, goes to the inside line. Chad Reed sets him up perfectly for that left-hand turn.
They see Chad loading the rear end of the bike, kind of having the rear end come up just a little bit on that little step up.
With all due respect to the rest of the talented field, this is one of the best battles we've seen thus far. Kevin Windham gets a great drive here on the Anaheim split. They come together one more time, and it's Windham who's got the inside line. And he this time makes sure he gets a positive shift, but Reed's able to triple through it.
Oh, that's the first time I think we've seen that line, the double then triple there. Why, yes! Getting close here.
The knobbies are rubbing here in Anaheim. Mike LaRocco is starting to make a chase. Here it comes to the whoop section. Look at the drive.
Carrying the speed is so key in the whoops, and Kevin Windham has been so good with the whoops all night long. I think everybody here in the stadium is standing up, Todd, including us.
No question about it, folks. The best part is we're only halfway through this 20-lap affair. Your leader, Kevin Windham, number 14, battling number 22, Chad Reed.
Well, Todd, he definitely could get by. You see the guys throwing the bikes out sideways, trying to scrub a little speed, keep it lower to the ground, and Chad seems to have a bit of a run going right now. Watch the whoops, though. Windham setting up, and here we go. Reed going back to his line. We talked about how he'd been following Windham in there. This time he goes back outside, and he's got the inside line possibly here, and he goes in, and oh, Reed goes down. Chad Reed connects.
What a race we have. Your leader is Kevin Windham, but moments ago they touched wheels right before the finish line, and Chad Reed went down. The good news is he has only moved back one position, but right now it is the Hondas 1 and 2. Here it is again, Cameron.
He tries to set him up to go inside. Windham's going to be outside. Here comes Reed. Kevin is committed. Reed gets on the binders, trying not to make full contact. He does hit, slides out, and he falls downside into the berm. Mike LaRocco also going to get by, so Chad Reed now sitting in third place. Well, this, of course, brings into question, you know, with someone in between Chad and Kevin and the 10 points he lost with that altercation with David Villeman. And here we go, Chad Reed underneath Mike LaRocco. He's not able to triple that section, but he is going to make the pass stick. And, well, next in his sights will be Windham, but can he make up that amount of time? He is definitely a little bit back there.
But it is Kevin Windham who is starting to stretch his lead out. You can't say enough about it. He is saluting the fans, and I think the fans have loved every moment of this race. They certainly got their money's worth. Do not rest, though, Kevin, because Chad Reed is not backing off. It is Kevin Windham, number 14, picking up the victory in Anaheim, California, your winner.
Well, you may have noticed that he rides a Kawasaki, and he rides it really fast. His number is 26. It's Byrne, Michael Byrne. If you guys don't really watch closely at home, you should watch this guy ride because you seem really tacky. You really kind of flow with the track. Supercross really fits your style, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think it does. I mean, the frustrating thing for me is that, like, when I go back and watch the videotape, I'm like, man, I look so slow on video, you know, and then, but my times are still right there, you know, so that's the hardest thing for me. I've been trying to be a bit more aggressive, you know, and you know, use a bit more energy and you know, trying to attack the track a little bit more.
With the way the AMA's been kind of watching you guys racing, has it become a secondary thought when you're on the track? I mean, you say you need to be more aggressive, and I know attacking the track's one part of that, but the other part is getting by other riders. If you don't have a great start, you got to get by these guys. I mean, really, the course is like only a couple feet wider than my arm span.
When we grew up watching the sport, you know, watched Rick Johnson and Bailey and, and, you know, all those guys when we were growing up, and that's just what it was. You know, that was, if you wanted to get by somebody, you just ran into them. You know, it seemed like, and, you know, now I calculate it out a little bit more and think about it and know where you can pass, and, you know, but you can still stick it in on people and all that kind of stuff. The AMA just trying to, you know, get rid of the deliberate stuff, you know, and, you know, if you definitely want to take someone down, you know, you're going to get penalized for it.
Growing up, how did it set you up for American Supercross? I mean, was this what you wanted to go do? Is this something that just happened because you were one of the best in your country? I mean, how did this happen for you?
No, this has always been, you know, a dream to come here and race ever since I started racing when I was 7. You know, I used to watch the videos of, you know, Johnson and Bailey, you know, then McGrath and Emig, and, you know, it was always just something that I wanted to strive for. And I think, you know, what helped me out was Chad. You know, we both had the same dream, and so we were racing each other head to head every weekend, pushing each other, knowing that in the end this is where we wanted to be. So I think that helped us out to get where we are right now.
Right on. Well, we're looking forward to seeing some battles. We're looking forward to seeing the 26 out front. I know you are, and hey, he's just kind of a fun, cool guy. That's what it's all about. Have fun riding your dirt bike.
All right, thanks, guys.
And welcome to San Francisco, California, the city by the bay. We're in the shadows of the Bay Bridge at SBC Park for tonight's THQ World Supercross GP and the THQ AMA Supercross Series. As we take a look at the Suzuki starting grid for the 250 main event from San Francisco, California, Kevin Windham logging the fastest time tonight. Chad Reed's right there, and Robbie Reynard, who had a great run, Cameron, not only his heat race, but in practice.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing these two heat winners get together and battle it out, and well, Ryan Clark's going to give us some good shots from the onboard, and you know what? Basically, it's 250 main event time, and I'm just psyched and standing up.
So Cameron Steele's fired up, and I'm sure the Australian assassin Chad Reed is ready to go, running the new black helmet.
Going for a different look, and well,
here we go, Cameron. 34 to sideways, and we are racing. It's the lone Kawasaki on the track that goes out to the front. Unbelievable. And that Michael Byrne, I don't think he's officially picked up the Butterfinger hold shot, but Byrne looking very good. He is looking like he's going to check out with Grant Langston behind him and Robbie Reynard in third.
Looked like it might have been the Craig Anderson bike. The number 30 was right up there in the fray. A couple Australians getting good starts, and well, we'll see what Grant Langston can do. Remember the crash earlier today, a sore wrist, got some marks on his face, but before the race, I was thinking Byrne's been looking pretty good. Maybe we'll see a podium out of him. But our big dogs are working a little bit of overtime right now. Let's see if we can spot him. There's Reed and Windham right behind him.
This is the main event. Here comes Grant Langston, wasting no time.
Grant is good at getting into the lines, and remember, Byrne, a little bit newer, and Grant Langston going inside, but Byrne not giving up. We'll see who gets the run through the whoops. Grant dropping just a little bit, but he's still taking the line, and Byrne goes down. Now, let's talk about, you know, the AMA is watching closely on rough riding, but that looked like a case of the guys just kind of getting together, and maybe Byrne's handlebar caught on Langston's jersey. That's kind of what it looked like there, but the news is Grant Langston is leading here in San Francisco.
Number 22, he'll launch the triple. Renard takes a look over to his left, and Chad Reed has the line.
And Robbie doesn't just give it up, but Chad's so smart how it worked the corner, goes kind of the outside.
Kevin Windham goes down.
Oh, big news here. Kevin Windham having some bad luck in the whoops, and he's actually tangled up near the face of that triple. He needs to get back on the track. The bad news for him is that Chad Reed is in second place as he continues to go backwards. Windham basically all the way to the back of the pack after winning last week. He had the fastest lap time in a heat race, so he can work to move up, but he has a lot of traffic. 19 motorcycles in front of him, now 18.
Grant Langston continues to lead. We've seen several lead changes this year. We've seen several different leaders. Grant Langston, the South African, doing battle now with the Australian Chad Reed. And look at the drive Reed has to the whoop section.
Reed trying to blast him in the whoops. Langston goes to the outside to take the line and then misshifts. Not able to keep the forward momentum going. Chad Reed is in front and blitzing the whoops. These two riders working together, racing each other, is opening up doors for David Villeman, who is now not just in the picture, but he is part of the picture.
David Villeman just grabbing a piece of that rut right there and just slingshotting through. Grant Langston goes to the inside. Here comes Mike LaRocco to the out, and David Villeman drops down the center of the whoop section.
Oh, and Villeman having to pull up.
A tough line.
Well, what happened is he had to pull up just a little bit because he was carrying more momentum than the Rocco right there, and he didn't want to tangle into his back wheel, especially because he was kind of going across the back wheel.
He has now dropped his lead down to just about 4 seconds.
Interesting tactic there, too. Villeman timing the whoops instead of skimming them, and he's got the line on the Rocco, but now the Rocco coming to the inside. We'll see if he can stick the wheel back in there. He's got a smoother line to the inside. There's not as many whoops. You see Villeman hitting the whoops and hitting the bales.
It is Chad Reed. Will he start a new streak in the 250 class? I don't know about that, but I do know one thing. Chad Reed will pick up a victory tonight. Your winner, 250 main event, Chad Reed.
After San Francisco, the race for the AMA Supercross title saw Chad Reed in front with 144 points. David Villeman in second with 114, and Mike LaRocco in third with 112. Grant Langston held down the lead for the THQ World Supercross GP Championship with 163 points, followed by Damon Huffman with 162, and Heath Voss with 134.
So people, you want to know the true life of a privateer? Tyler Evans in the house. He's got to work on his own Suzuki once in a while. You know, I don't even know if the factory guys know how to turn a wrench, Tyler.
Yeah, I'm doing whatever it takes right now. If that means working on my bike, so be it.
What's different about Tyler Evans? I mean, we've seen Tyler Evans go fast in the past. I mean, he's been on the podium in the 125s, but that's the little bike class. This is the big bike class. And some people might even said, oh, did I turn the bars?
Yeah, you turned them a little bit. There we go, there you go. All good.
Whoa, perfectionist. So what's different about Tyler Evans that's got you on a roll? I mean,
well, I mean, I keep talking about the pieces to the puzzle, you know. I finally have the pieces to the puzzle, and I think that's definitely is making me go one step farther than last year.
What does it take to, I mean, be a successful Supercross racer?
Privateers have a little bit more rough. We got to stay on the road. I slept at the track last night, so I'm full-blown privateer this year.
So if you don't have factory support, how are you getting top 10s? I mean, is it your body? Is it the bike? Nope. Tune us in. Come on, give us a clue here.
I tell you what, this year, you know, I really got serious about racing. The last couple years, I've been slacking. I mean, straight up, I'm going to be honest with you, I've been slacking and took a lot of things for granted. This career isn't going to last forever, you know, so I got to get my butt into gear and start doing it.
Were you surprised to see yourself up there with all the factory guys at all, or were you thinking, I should win this thing?
But, you know what, I wasn't surprised to be up there because I always felt like I could be up there. I mean, a podium 125. The 125 class isn't as big as the 250 class, but
I think I can podium. I mean, that's just my honest gut feeling. I know I can. Now it's one more step up to get to Reed and get to Carmichael, get to all those guys.
You know, it's cool. I don't have the tattoos, but he does. He's badass. He's Tyler Evans.
I always told you needed to step up one day.
Thanks to his crash in San Francisco, Kevin Windham was in need of some good news. And before the race in Houston, he would get it. An independent arbitrator had overturned the AMA's decision from earlier in the season and returned the 10 points Windham lost for his aggressive pass on David Villeman back in Phoenix. Gathering steam, Windham headed to Houston's main event with renewed confidence. But as the gate dropped, Chad Reed jumped out in front to take the hole shot, with Windham stuck back in the middle of the pack. Windham immediately set out to catch the leader, picking off rider after rider until he finally pulled up behind Reed. After a brief chase, Chad slowly began extending his lead, making Windham only a memory by the time the checkered flag dropped. Also, Grant Langston barreled over a berm and landed headfirst on the concrete during the main event, ending his night and surrendering the top spot in the World Supercross GP standings to Damon Huffman. Momentum may be the Supercross rider's most devastating possession. Whoever owns it has a decided advantage over those who don't. By winning the Houston main event, Reed stole the momentum away from Windham. But before the Minneapolis Supercross was over, the momentum would change once again. The main event belonged to Kevin Windham, who passed hole shot winner Michael Byrne almost immediately and never looked back. Behind him, Chad Reed hurled through the pack and took charge of second place. By race's end, he had whittled Windham's lead to less than 3 seconds, but ran out of time to catch K-Dub. Atlanta has hosted Supercross for a long time, but only recently has it gained a reputation for being one of the stranger rounds each season. In 2002, Kevin Windham broke his femur, prompting his temporary retirement from the sport. In the very same round, David Villeman got into an altercation with fellow Frenchman Stefan Roncada over some questionable passes. The ill Travis Pastrana pulled off the track during the main event due to the flu. The 2004 fireworks began early in the night, as 125 riders Ryan Mills and Steve Mertens were disqualified for fighting after the heat race. Not to be outdone, the 250 class featured its own fisticuffs when Grant Langston went after privateer Jimmy Wilson. After the fight was broken up, Langston then attempted to accost an AMA official who disqualified Langston for the night and escorted him off the premises. The incident ended any hope he had of making up ground on the THQ World Supercross GP points leader, Damon Huffman. Thankfully, Atlanta's main event was all about racing. Damon Huffman busted out of the gate to grab the hole shot with the entire pack on his heels. By lap 3, Reed had passed Huffman for sole possession of the lead, while Windham began moving up through the pack to eventually hold second place. By the time the checkered flag dropped, Chad Reed had held on for his 6th win of the season, followed by Kevin Windham in second and Mike LaRocco pulling up in third. After Atlanta, Chad Reed led the AMA Supercross Series with 216 points, followed by Kevin Windham with 190 and David Villeman with 170. Damon Huffman rode atop the THQ World Supercross GP leaderboard with 221 points, followed by Heath Voss with 202 and Grant Langston with 188. Fresh off the injured list was Travis Pastrana, looking for a strong performance in St. Louis to solidify his return to Supercross. Unfortunately, the oft-injured superstar's night would start off on an ominous note. While riding a practice lap wearing an ESPN2 camera on his helmet, Travis had just completed his tour of the track for the viewers at home when a rider in front of him fell, causing Travis to flip over the downed bike. It was his first official crash since his return, but it would not be his worst of the night. In the main event, Nathan Ramsey stomped out of the gate to grab the hole shot. Just after the first turn, Pastrana mistimed the jump, cutting over a few lanes and landing in the path of a charging Grant Langston. Langston inadvertently ran over Travis's legs before going down himself. Travis's night in St. Louis had come to a premature end.
Travis, gnarly get off. What happened? Is it your knee again?
I got my leg run over. I think I broke my leg. So I messed up through this section. It's just overexcited. It's so good to be back and just reminds you why I'm always off.
Always in good spirits, Trav. We're thinking about you.
Meanwhile, Chad Reed avoided the pileup and soon passed Ramsey to lead the pack. By lap 5, Windham moved into second and began to put heavy pressure on Reed for first, remaining on his rear wheel through the midway point of the main. But by lap 14, Reed began to check out, stretching his lead over Windham to nearly 10 seconds by the time the checkered flag flew. Although he was disappointed by his finish in his 201st Supercross race, Mike LaRocco would get his act together for the next race in his hometown of Indianapolis.
It's the THQ World Supercross GP and the THQ AMA Supercross Series from the RCA Dome in Indianapolis, Indiana. All right, let's take a look at our Suzuki starting grid. It's Chad Reed. He had that win, and he is finding time on this course that no one else can find.
He sure has. Keep an eye on Andrew Short, too, the MotorWorldRacing.com Suzuki rider. You know, it's been a crazy night so far. It might be a time for a 125 rider like Short to get out there and get the win. You're looking at the subway cam right now. That's Jason Thomas. He's wearing our onboard camera, but he's on the way outside. All eyes are on this man right here, Chad Reed. He's got 8 wins so far, and he is looking for number 9. And let's see who gets the Butterfinger Hole Shot Award. And it's going to be Mike LaRocco, believe it or not.
The Rock.
LaRocco gets the Butterfinger Hole Shot Award.
We always look for the start out of Mike LaRocco, and we have it tonight in his home state. This crowd is going wild.
Unbelievable. LaRocco with the hole shot.
Reed is in last spot.
Chad Reed is in last place. It's LaRocco, Villeman, Short. Listen to the people cheering. They did not expect this.
I did not expect this. Look at every person in the house is on their feet. Look at the background.
Unbelievable. Mike LaRocco's probably waited 16 years to get a hole shot. I can't remember the last time he got one. And now the ball is in his court. We're in the RCA Dome. This is his hometown Supercross. And right now he's got the lead. Villeman is second. Nick Way is back in third. And all the way back in 19th place is Chad Reed. Check it out. LaRocco looked like he was shot out of a cannon right up the middle. He gets to the line first. That's the Butterfinger Hole Shot Award. Byrne bounces off the jump, and that's what happened to Chad Reed. We'll take a look at the onboard camera. You see him on the outside. They get out here to this wall, and right there the guys start banging up. There's Reed, there's Byrne. It looked like Reed almost tackled that Kawasaki. They just got tangled up, and now he's got a long way to go if he's going to catch this man, Mike LaRocco, who's got to be the oldest man in this field.
Mike LaRocco's out in front of David Villeman. Nick Way back in third on the Suzuki 4 spot is Nathan Ramsey. Nate Dogg is followed by Kevin Windham. Where is Kevin Windham? He is moving up through the pack, and he's not too far behind.
And Ramsey's going to have the advantage. Ramsey makes the pass for third, and here comes Windham.
Here comes K-Dub. Nate Dogg does the seat bounce. The Michigan Mafia rider on the inside. Nick Way runs him high, and Wyndham's going to take advantage. Windham moves into fourth now behind his Honda teammate, but necessarily not teammates in general. The factory Honda of Nathan Ramsey in third. The Amsoil factory connection Honda in fourth. Nick Way in fifth now. But it's still everyone chasing Mike LaRocco. But this battle for third is a good one. Our series points leader, Chad Reed, is working his way through the field. Went down on the first lap, and he is up to the number 7 position right now. But can he still close in on Mike LaRocco, who's winning this thing?
I don't know. He's running out of time, but he's looking good. He just passed Andrew Short. That moved him up another notch. Now he's looking at the back of Nick Way, your 5th place rider. But LaRocco's got 2 full straightaways as we get 9 laps in the book. So Reed, he's riding hard, he's riding fast, but he didn't pass these guys soon enough. As you can see in traffic, he can't use some of those lines he used, though. Right there, a nice inside-out move. Gets a little touch of the wheel on Nick Way. So that puts Reed up to 5th. So he's got to get Villeman, he's got to get Windham, he's got to get Ramsey, and he's got to get LaRocco if he's going to get his 9th win of this season. Well, I have a feeling as the laps start to count down, you're going to see LaRocco actually get faster. He's got to know that this might be his last chance to win in the RCA Dome. I mean, how often does he get a good start? Rarely. And to see him out front, you know, I don't think he wants to see Chad Reed get any closer than he is, but Reed's definitely going to catch him. LaRocco's just got to keep looking forward and keep getting faster.
He loves that section. This is a fast track, and he's even faster. He's making up time.
Yeah, but the traffic was hurting him earlier. Now he's coming up behind Nathan Ramsey, and you see Ramsey had to kind of hesitate there a little bit because he was behind Jason Thomas. Reed takes the high line right there. A lap rider got in, slowed him down. That's going to cost him. He's going to have to set that pass up again as they come down through the rhythm section. Again, Ramsey is your 4th place rider.
It's your onboard onboard camera that's just in front of him. It is Chad Reed closing in on Nathan Ramsey. Reed in 5th, Ramsey in 4th, and it's Jason Thomas on a Subway Honda that's holding him off just a little bit and takes him to the top.
It cost him that whole lap. He had just caught up to Nathan Ramsey, and then now Reed's going to have to catch him again and set it up, and that is the best thing that could have happened to Mike LaRocco.
I noticed both Thomas, and there he goes. He lets him by that time. Thomas on a Honda, Ramsey on a Honda, but they're not teammates, ladies and gentlemen.
That cost Chad Reed 2 laps because he didn't make the move the lap before. Now he's got to catch back up to Nathan Ramsey, who's got probably 3 full seconds on him. Comes down the inside, but now he can use that high line. There he goes. Down on the inside. He's going to push him out a little bit.
Yes, he does. Boy, there was an outside rut there, and Chad Reed had no intentions of letting Nathan Ramsey get inside it. It looks like Kevin Windham now the next man on the list, and he's starting to battle it out with a Cobra for 2nd spot. And Reed has not finished, not only out of the podium, he hasn't even finished any worse than 2nd.
Come on the inside. Nice move by Kevin Windham. You know what? This is what's been hurting Villeman all year long. He gets to the end of the race, and he starts to get winded. He is going slower than he did at the beginning of the race. Windham is going faster, and so is that man right there, your leader. He's got about 5 laps to go. You still see the crowd yelling. This is the battle for 2nd and 3rd. And again, before Reed can even think about the win and catching LaRocco, he's got to get around one of these big Hondas, and this time it's Kevin Windham at the controls.
K-Dub knows he's behind. I'm curious to see what kind of pit signals he is getting because Chad Reed is coming in fast. You see the wheel sticking his nose in there ever so often. The blue flag waving, saying, hey, move over. Your leaders are coming in. Michael LaRocco's checking out of this one. Reed has worked his way up from last into 3rd, and Windham is just picking off these left riders.
And once again, Reed gets kind of hesitant behind the left riders.
You're taking a look at Kevin Windham, the number 14 Honda in 2nd spot. There is 3rd, just behind the series points leader, Chad Reed. He's moved into 3rd, but he's not getting by Kevin Windham, and this crowd is getting louder and louder because their home state favorite, Mike LaRocco, is looking for the win.
He's about a lap and a half away, Robbie. The battle for 2nd is just what he needs to just keep looking forward. Forget about this. Here you see Reed. He's going to try and get him through the rhythm section. And once again, he has problems with the left rider.
Chad Reed has not finished out of the top 2 races in 11 times. Has not finished in 3rd. I mean, he's either won 8 events or he's gotten 2nd at 3 of them. And it's the white flag. We're on the last lap. Mike LaRocco is way out in front. Kevin Windham, and we take a look at the interval. It was over 6.5 seconds. And as you see Reed trying to close in on Windham, this place is blowing up for their home state boy.
They are. Look at the flash bulbs go off. That's Mike LaRocco in the upper left. Down here at the bottom, this is the battle for, well, actually, we're seeing LaRocco everywhere. Here comes Reed trying on the inside through this whoop section. Reed's been very fast. You see him jump through. He gets the corner. He comes to the inside, and Windham holds him off again. But check it out at the top of your screen. Mike LaRocco has won the Indianapolis Supercross.
Mike LaRocco makes history, and the crowd is going nuts. Kevin Windham takes 2nd, Chad Reed 3rd, and I'm clapping myself, Davey Coombs, because I said earlier today, how nice would it be if Mike LaRocco to win here? And when he got that whole shot, that was everything he was looking for.
A lot of people are going to go home happy tonight in Indiana. Mike LaRocco, congratulations. You know, this is his 202nd career main event, a record, and he goes out and wins it.
Welcome to Pontiac, Michigan and the Silverdome for the THQ World Supercross GP and the THQ AMA Supercross Series. So good to see Jimmy Wilson making the main event here in Pontiac, Michigan. We're in the Silverdome, the 250 main lining up as we take a look at our Suzuki starting grid. Chad Reed, Kevin Windham, David Villeman, Mike LaRocco, Michael Byrne, Nick Way, Ezra Lust. The only name that's not up there is Travis Pastrana and Ricky Carmichael, but all the stars are here. Nathan Ramsey's in, as is Craig Anderson, who had a great run. Ryan Clark, who will be running our helmet camera. Number 43, Clark doing the duties tonight. Hopefully Clark can get up there and mix it up with the big fellas. Cameron, as we get lined up for this event with only 3 to go, who do you think the pressure's more on, Windham or Reed?
Well, actually, Windham has to get a great start because we know that Chad has great time on his laps. He's the fastest guy out there. Someone needs to get ahead of him in the start.
This start has been completely wild. The guys that come out almost dead last can square off that first turn and come back to the inside. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out right here.
It is a very short starting line as they head into that first turn, as they all go for the Butterfinger hole shot. The 30 board is straight up.
Look how focused Chad Reed is on that 32nd board.
You've been there before, Travis. What's it like? What's going through your mind right now?
Butterflies, nerves, everything else is completely blacked out. You're just waiting for that card to go sideways so you can count down the gate.
The 30 board goes sideways. We are set to go racing the 250 main from Pontiac. Chad Reed slides to the inside. Can he come out unscathed? Everyone piling up in the corner. Look at this.
Kevin Windham and Chad Reed both tangled. This is going to be a great race.
Damon Huffman goes out, gets the Butterfinger hole shot with Mike LaRocco in tow.
Ezra Lusk, one of his first races back, is looking really good up there in 4th place.
And Craig Anderson sitting in 3rd.
And the thing you got to check out right now is Mike LaRocco has got himself another start. He's in 2nd place. He won the last one. If he get past Huffman and keep it real wide, he can win this again. The guys have been real fast in the back, but
you know what? I don't know if anyone's going to touch Reed tonight. He has been looking so good throughout his practices, heat races, and he flies through the whoops.
And as they come through 3 wide, here comes Travis. Oh, look at this. Chad Reed squeezing in there. I was about to say here comes Travis Pastrana, but he's sitting right next to me. Chad Reed moves up another position. So it's Chad Reed in 3rd now.
Reed just seems like he's cruising around these guys. It's really amazing how quick that guy goes out here.
So smooth, picking the lines, and now he's got a real formidable opponent right here. I mean, it's going to be one-on-one with him and LaRocco, and he's got to pick the smart line. Travis, how do you get around LaRocco a bet like this, and he can make it wide?
I'm a bad person to ask. LaRocco is the widest guy in the entire world to get around, so Reed's probably going to take a little bit of time here, unless he can just pull something amazing out.
We know you've tangled with LaRocco before, and you know you never want to tangle, especially when you're up front running for a win here. And Chad's definitely positioned to still win this event.
Yeah, Chad's not worried right now. He's just taking his time, but Mike LaRocco, he's going to ride his own race and not really worry about where Reed is. He keeps blocking him without even really meaning to.
So the battle is on for 2nd place, and Chad Reed just blasts through that section, caught LaRocco off guard. So Chad Reed goes into 2nd. Now he'll go to work on another Honda. Damon Huffman out in front, but Chad Reed has been so cool. Travis, I think the thing that impressed me most about Chad is he gets into a bad situation, and he just remains so cool. Look at that.
There he goes. Man, when you're as fast as Chad Reed is on some of these sections, it doesn't matter how wide the guy in front of you gets.
Well, the battle continues on. The 2 Hondas doing battle, and I'm kind of surprised that Mike LaRocco didn't give Chad Reed more of a battle, Cameron. After what happened in Indianapolis, do you think it was just a case of Chad Reed extra motivated?
You know, I think it was, and LaRocco knows on the lap times that he's not going to be able to stay ahead of Chad. There's no reason to tangle with him, and the Rock getting past Damon Huffman. You saw Damon make a couple of mistakes there, which kind of surprises me. He's been riding so smooth, and now he's got Lusk all over his tail.
Damon Huffman's in between a rock and a hard place right now. He's got some great riders. David Villeman, Sean Hamlin, Kevin Windham are all right behind him. Ezra Lusk, he's so nervous right now, just going, come on, keep it together, let's keep some spots. But when you said LaRocco, I mean, he can be really wide, but when Reed's going that much quicker through certain sections, it's impossible.
Well, it's interesting. Damon Huffman right now doing battle with Ezra Lusk, who's been off the bike for a while. He drops another position. Damon Huffman cannot afford to drop too many because in the World Supercross GP points battle, he is fighting with Heath Voss coming into this event. He has a 3-point lead, and Heath Voss right now sits in 11th.
It's definitely going to be an interesting race either way already. David Villeman looking to the inside of Mike LaRocco. I think this is going to be a battle to the end. Mike's not going to give him anything, that's for sure.
It's definitely, I'm sorry, Todd, it's a different situation for LaRocco when he knows Chad's coming by and maybe he knows he has the speed, but he knows his times are more similar to Villeman. So is he going to fight harder for this position?
I think Mike fought plenty hard for the original position. It's just a matter of, you see Mike still doing the triple out of the corner right there. He's doing more technical stuff than everyone out here except for Reed. So that's pretty good for Mike. He's really picking up his game for sure.
Well, this is the battle for 2nd place. Mike LaRocco sits in 2nd. David Villeman sits in 3rd. Chad Reed is your leader.
Looks like Villeman's trying to find a way because this is going to be the white flag coming out here.
White flag is out for Chad Reed. Here comes LaRocco and Villeman. They'll battle for positions on the podium. Joe Aloff in front of them, a lap rider. LaRocco number 5, Villeman number 12. As Chad Reed is halfway through the final lap, Aloff moves over, and here comes Villeman. I gotta think he's gonna do it on this next corner if he's gonna have any shot at this.
LaRocco can smell the barn, though. I tell you what, this is gonna be almost impossible for David to get around Mike on this. He gets wide. I'll tell you what, he gets wider than anybody.
Anderson getting in the way just a little bit. You saw Aloff was in Villeman's line setting up to that triple, so there wasn't really space. And look at this.
Oh, my.
Anderson blocking on Villeman, so giving LaRocco some breathing room.
That's just that makes you so frustrated as a rider when someone gets in the way like that. And this group actually caught back up to Chad Reed, who's coming across the finish line now.
Your winner, 250 main event, number 22, Chad Reed picks up yet another victory. Mike LaRocco brings it home for second, and David Villeman will grab a podium position in third.
If you look back there, Kevin Windham coming across. This was a very disheartening race for K-Dub.
Yeah, no question about it. Well, people at home, if you're checking out the 3Xs, you're at the Moto Triple X pit, and well, we're hanging out with the guy that's leading the World Championship point battle, Damon Huffman, or H. Diddy, or the Diesel, as he likes to call himself now. That's the new nickname. What's up with all the nicknames?
I'm not sure. You can blame it on P. Diddy or Jeff Emig. You know, Emig had the Pro Daddy, then I was the Huff Daddy. The Diesel's kind of a nickname I came up with over in Europe. It kind of takes me a while to get going, but then I just keep on going. I think I ride really graceful, and don't get me wrong, I'm strong. I'm really strong, and I have endurance that just keeps on going. But it's a combination of my riding style and just letting the bike do all the work for me.
You won championships in the past. What's it take here to move on forward, take down, you know, the big money's on the line, 100 grand? You feeling nervous?
I'm just playing it cool, and one race at a time, and I want to do good every race and stay up there, and the main thing is to be injury free, you know, make it through every round, and it's a long season and still a long ways to go, but you know, for sure I want to win that.
Okay, part of that was a PR answer, but do you guys feel like you know Damon Huffman way better? Remember, the 20, the Diesel, the Moto Triple X, we got to go.
And welcome to Texas Stadium. It's the THQ World Supercross GP and the THQ AMA Supercross Series.
Definitely one of the most talented riders I've ever seen ride Supercross. Chad Reed, poised to possibly capture a championship. The skill he exudes on the track is just second to none right now, and just amazing. And I don't think the championship can happen here tonight because Windham has to finish too far down, but should be an exciting race.
As we take a look at our Suzuki starting grid, it's Chad Reed, Kevin Windham, Michael Byrne, Heath Voss, David Villeman, Mike LaRocco, and a lot of Johnsons up there as well. This should be an interesting one, as Cameron alluded to. If Chad Reed gets first and Kevin Windham finishes 9th or lower, Chad Reed is your 250 champ. But again, Kevin Windham is too strong, his lap times in practice too fast, but stranger things have happened. As the 30 board goes sideways, it's the 250 main event from Texas Stadium. Mike LaRocco on the inside has a great line. Chad Reed right there with Kevin Windham next to him. Reed's forced to the inside of the split section. Windham to the outside. Look at Windham's drive through there. Here comes Chad Reed. Gets hung up just a little bit. Kevin Windham will get the Butterfinger hole shot, and he will lead them into the green flag lap with Chad Reed right behind him.
And Chad, an uncharacteristic small bobble in the whoops there. It looked like they were going to come out dead even in that corner, in that second corner, but Kevin with the advantage. We'll watch right here, see which way they go. Remember, there's multiple options. Looks like they're going to go the same way. Triple again. Oh, and Chad clipping the edge of that, not able to get that triple, so giving Kevin Windham a little breathing room.
Kevin Windham, your leader, Chad Reed right behind him, and this is what America's wanted to see all year long. Look at the drive of Reed.
And Chad getting the inside line. Wasn't one of his best runs through the whoops, but very solid getting the run, and then inside takes the line away from Windham.
If you look at Kevin Windham in second, let's go back to the battle for third. That's number 12, David Villeman. Number 5 is Mike LaRocco. LaRocco on the red Honda. Number 5, Villeman on the Yamaha. Number 12 just coming into your view.
And then Heath Voss coming into your picture. Right now running 5th, but he's definitely in a great position because Huffman's sitting in 16th place. He's taken over the lead in this World Supercross points chase. And not only that, he's got some riders that are going to get in between him and Huffman, including Tyler Evans, who's currently sitting in 3rd at this point. Oh, and Windham having to check a little bit on Evans, coming inside a little bit. No, Windham gets just a little bit squirrely.
Chad Reed has 2 lappers in front of him in the form of number 34 and number 36, and that's Sean Hamlin. And this is really impeding his progress. The flag is out to let him through, but I don't think Hamlin saw it. So he's really going to have to slow down, and here comes Kevin Windham.
Unbelievable lappers making an opening for Windham, but he was on the charge. We'll see if he can get up there on Reed. Now Reed's going to have some clear racetrack ahead of him.
Well, that's not Team Red riding rules because those other two riders on a Suzuki. Stiles was in there, Sean Hamlin was in there, and here comes Windham. So you usually don't get a second chance at Chad Reed, but Kevin Windham has lived another day. Look at this, he's back up in the running 4 laps ago. This was unheard of, and here he is. So Chad Reed, I don't think he's off the gas. I think he's just encountering some untimely lap riders. Believe all the hype of this young man. He is certainly for real, and I think he knows it. The Supercross world knows it, and the folks at Yamaha definitely know it, as do the rest of the industry riders, and he will be a great find for anyone who can sign up for next year. Your winner, the 250 main, Chad Reed. Joy all around for Team Blue and Yamaha. He did not clinch the title, but he certainly sent a message. Kevin Windham can run with him all he wants, but when it comes down to the checkers, it's Chad Reed. Kevin Windham, what else can I do? Chad Reed is just on his game.
After Dallas, Chad Reed led all AMA Supercross riders with 336 points. Kevin Windham was in second with 296, followed by Mike LaRocco in third with 272. For the THQ World Supercross GP Championship, Heath Voss was in the lead with 296 points, followed by Damon Huffman with 287, and Tyler Evans in third with 249. With 2 races to go, all Chad Reed had to do to clinch his very first AMA Supercross Championship was finish 11th or better in Salt Lake. But the 2004 Supercross season still had at least one trick up its sleeve. After the race in Dallas, the AMA randomly tested fuel from 7 bikes to make sure they were in compliance with regulations. All Supercross riders must run unleaded fuel, but when the test results came back, some riders were found to have traces of lead in their bikes' tanks. Among them were David Villeman and current points leader Chad Reed.
I think that the biggest thing about the whole fuel thing was tough on me and David, and I think and Tyson as well. You know, it's something that's way out of our control. You know, me and David, I'm sure, have never ever filled one of our race bikes up with gas, and it was just an unfortunate thing. You know, we weren't caught with lead and gas. We were, you know, found a little over the limit. That was unfortunate, and we question why we're over. You know, the AMA cannot show us why we're over and where we're over, and that's kind of the problem we have right now, and it's up in the air and is disappointing, but you know, there's a title on the line, and that's probably the biggest thing, you know.
For the second time this season, the AMA decided to take away actual points, 25 from each rider not in compliance. Since his lead over Windham had dwindled to only 15 points, there was now very little chance for Chad to clinch in Salt Lake. But worse for Reed, the door was now wide open for Windham to make up serious ground on the leader.
I have several things going through my mind. You know, it's cool to be here and to be even able to win a championship. But you know, I don't want to be a pessimistic guy. But when you look at reality of who can actually beat Reed at this point, you know, a lot of them are wearing blue. So you know, I think that you know, it's quite obvious that in the championship battle, you know, Villeman's not going to beat Reed, you know, and to coming in this race, all I can do is win. That's my goal, that's my job, and whatever he does past that is up to him, and it's out of my control.
The THQ World Supercross GP title chase was even closer, only 9 points separating Damon Huffman from the leader, Heath Voss. In the main event, Arena Cross mainstay Tommy Hoffmaster grabbed an impressive hole shot, only to wash out only a few turns into the race. Windham avoided the crash and inherited the lead, followed by Nick Way and Heath Voss. After a poor start, Chad Reed was stuck in 6th, but improved his position to 2nd by mid-race. But by then it was too late, as Windham had checked out to a huge lead that no one could challenge. Windham crossed the finish line for his 5th main event win of the season, with Chad Reed and David Villeman lagging far behind.
Las Vegas, Nevada is the site as we are inside a sold-out Sam Boyd Stadium for the 250 main event. Todd Harris along with Cameron Steele and Jamie Little. This is the THQ World Supercross GP and the THQ AMA Supercross Series. It all comes down to this as we take a look at our Suzuki starting grid. There's Kevin Windham, Chad Reed, Travis Pastrana, Michael Byrne, Mike LaRocco, Sean Hamlin, Nick Wade, Damon Huffman, Travis Pastrana is a late scratch. More on that later in the race with Jamie Little, but there is the rest of the usual suspects. And Tommy Hoffmaster, the final race of the year, will be running the helmet cam. And Cameron, if we saw anything in Salt Lake last week, Hoffmaster's a good choice to run the helmet camera. Right now, let's send it down to Jamie Little.
Well, you guys, Heath Voss has been very emotional and very vocal talking about his late friend Donnie Schmidt. He dedicates this World Supercross title to him. He was his mentor growing up. He's always wanted to be just like him. Donnie Schmidt was a world champion, and now Heath Voss is as well.
They don't come any cooler than number 22, Chad Reed, on board his Yamaha. Right next to him, Kevin Windham. He sits 12 points back as we enter this, the final race of the season. And the way it shakes down is if Windham wins, he has to hope for Chad Reed to finish 8th or worse, as the 30 board is straight up for the final time of the 2004 Supercross season. It's been a great ride, and it all comes down to this. Las Vegas, Nevada, sold-out crowd on a beautiful night. The 30 board is sideways. We're set to go racing 250 Main. Damon Huffman goes out and grabs himself a Butterfinger hole shot, but Kevin Windham looks like he's going to double into first place.
And Chad Reed right there in your top 5. So, Chad moving forward, it's going to take a miracle for him or a mistake by Chad himself to give Windham this championship. And right now, Kevin in the driver's seat, and some riders that are good in between him. Byrne's looking for his first podium of the season, running second right now.
Your leader, number 14. Kevin Windham out in front. He'll take them through for the first time, and look at Chad Reed already moving up to 3rd. Number 14 on board the Honda. Kevin Windham out in front, but close behind his good friend, Chad Reed. The battle is on. If it stays like this, Cameron, the title goes to Chad Reed, awfully reminiscent of last year when Ricky Carmichael claimed the title, but did not win the final race.
Well, after talking to Chad today and just knowing Chad from being around the races and talking to him, I'm pretty sure he wants to get up there and win it. He won't do it at all costs. The championship is definitely the most important thing. He said that at the beginning of the show, but you know he wants to beat Windham.
Chad Reed, I think at this point, is resigned to the fact of no sense in risking the championship. He is running a very comfortable second right now, but he is not even in touch with Kevin Windham. Windham having just a tremendous night.
And they really have excelled on the season. You know, everybody knew Chad would, and a lot of people talked about Kevin coming in. Mike LaRocca with the win on the season. A lot of big performances from a lot of great riders, and it's pretty amazing. The great riders have really risen to the top this year.
Well, we'll watch Kevin Windham come through. The flash bulbs go off here at Sam Boyd Stadium on a sold-out night. But your winner will be Kevin Windham picking up the victory here in the 250 main event. Chad Reed will get the title, but what a great night it has been here in Las Vegas. Your winner, 250 Main, Kevin Windham.
Kevin Windham had won his 5th main event of the season, but it wasn't enough to stop Chad Reed from capturing his first ever AMA Supercross championship.
It was awesome. You know, it's been a long time, and it's not just you know, building in 1 year. It is a lifelong effort. I'd like to thank everybody for the support. My mom, my dad, my fiance, Jeff Spencer, Bob, everybody. Christian, Scott, everybody did such a great job, and I want to thank them because they're number 1 too.
After Vegas, Heath Voss has stretched his lead over the injured Damon Huffman by 24 points, comfortably securing his first ever THQ World Supercross GP Championship. The 2004 Supercross season had fulfilled its promises, and then some. 2 new champions were crowned, and enough twists and turns were thrown in along the way that even the most die-hard fans had to be on their toes at all times. Perhaps the promises for 2005 are even more profound. Chad Reed will be back to defend his title, as will Heath Voss. Kevin Windham will return to continue his resurgence. Off the injured list should be 3-time Supercross champion Ricky Carmichael and motocross enigma Travis Pastrana. Time-tested Supercross veteran Mike LaRocca will be back, along with David Villeman. And the one everyone's been waiting for, phenom James Stewart, will make his debut in the 250 class, trying to continue his dominance of all things motocross. All in all, 2005's top-level talent will be the best the sport has ever seen. Considering next season's talent pool, anyone can win. And considering this past season's twists and turns, anything can happen in Supercross 2005.